it came at a time. I mean, Lion King fell into this trap as well. It came at a time when the way they made games last was making them stupidly hard.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently, when Lion King was made for the Mega Drive, the developers actually came out and said that that was why they made it so hard, is because rather than making more content on the limited cartridge space, they just made it hard so people had to keep playing it.
Curse you.
Yeah, and that's why retro games were hard.
Still bloody hard.
Well, I say that's why retro games were hard. It's also that they couldn't code for shit.
Yeah.
Like the original.
I played Lion King on Game Boy. I don't know if you ever played that.
I never played it on Game Boy. I sort of touched upon it on the Mega Drive once or twice.
Because the Stampede level was different towards what it was on the Mega Drive, whatever it was. It was like a top-down perspective of the Stampede. Yeah.
Was that difficult?
Yeah, I found that level kind of difficult. It was like a one-off thing. I could either 1 minute do it, and then another month I wouldn't be able to do it, and I have to play it again another day.
Yeah, it's what I like to call when you get in the zone, you have that zen moment where you just blaze through a difficult bit just without getting hit. I used to have that. Well, I still get that in Monster Hunter, but I used to get that in the Krauser boss fight in Resident Evil 4. Which is the only boss fight I've ever played where I've been able to defeat it using the knife. And only the knife.
Nice. I beat Condemned Criminal Origins just using the kick.
Just the
just kick. Yeah.
That is praiseworthy. Because that kick is not powerful.
If you can actually get to the place before they spawn and kick them, you can kill them instantly. And also, if you taser them and then kick them, it kills them instantly too. It's a glitch.
Ah, I didn't know
If you taser them when they jump over a wall, it's instant death as well. Because they're not programmed to actually get. They're not programmed to show an electrical animation when they're climbing over something.
So
they just instantly die. Yeah.
I like the idea of just them trying to climb over a fence and just getting tased like, oh! I'm just gonna lie down here. Oh, Hagar was in his element there, just a wrestler wrestling two wrestlers.
Yeah.
Odd.
Now, with Hagar, I'm thinking if he's a mayor, why doesn't he just bring his special forces with him?
Yeah, there's a lot you could
and stuff like that. So you think he would take all that with him?
There's a lot
gun them all down.
There's a lot you could look into about Hagar's choice of actions here.
Just use a helicopter, fly to the tower.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
He's the mayor. Get the army in or something.
Yeah.
I mean that's your daughter.
Mhm.
Well, I think him and I think there's this whole idea that he doesn't really like Cody.
Why?
I don't know. But I mean, in the later ones, he doesn't like Cody because he's a criminal. But I don't know, which is interesting really, because Cody is dating his daughter.
Maybe he's a loudmouth, or just someone that just too much of a big head.
To be fair, I think his head is the only bit of him that isn't big. Look at the size of his head compared to the rest of him.
That's true.
It looks like Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 5. Which is ironic because in Resident Evil 5, Chris punches a boulder and Hagar punches a car.
That's true. You just take the tank from Left 4 Dead and put Chris's head on it. And that's kind of what he is. It's kind of like what I did with the DeviantArt picture.
Wait, what?
I made a DeviantArt picture of, I literally put Chris's head on a tank from Left 4 Dead. to discover this. Yeah, I did it in Source Filmmaker. I'll have to show you after this.
yeah, you've got to show me that. That is brilliant. Although it does remind me of a video I did of Slendy Tubbies 2, and Tinky Winky in that is literally looks like the tank.
Oh god.
So they've literally just got a purple tank with a small Teletubby head on it.
Why was that a thing? I heard about it when I was like looking for models from Gary's mod. There was like Slender Tubbies, and I'm like, why is that a thing?
Yeah, there's 3. They did a 3rd one of those. So there's been 2 sequels to it. It's basically just, I mean, for those people who watch my channel will know what it is, but it's basically just a rip-off of Slender Man.
Oh.
But it's not making its way on the horror indie list because they're free games.
Yeah.
Which, I just realised we've probably just name dropped about 3 different lists that we've got going on.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's just we gotta tell people we're still working on stuff, because some people, it's been like 2 months now since the video came out.
That was kind of one of the reasons why I've started doing this series with various team members, is just throwing out some content showing that recording is going on. And
yeah.
Like, for those people who don't know, like, the amount of effort that goes into the Tats Stop video stuff is staggering. Like, the list that we've got coming on at the moment, is it 60 entries?
No, 80.
Oh, it's 80 entries, Jesus.
It's 80.
So
Might as well just have them, because I already listed it on the Twitter thing. I said it's like a particular style of gun that goes click, clack, bang. So if you want to know what it is, I'll just tell everyone it's shotguns. That's what we're working on. The top 80 shotguns. We're almost there too, actually.
I think there's only 2 entries that we're waiting on at this point.
2 more gameplay entries and script, and then that's be it. Then I can send out the lines to the narrators to narrate.
I'll be glad to see that one go up.
Yeah.
I think I've got like 6 entries on there for the shotguns list.
I've got about 14, 15, way more than that.
Well, I mean, it is your channel. Well, and this is something that you guys won't necessarily know. Tats is the one who puts all the stuff together, like the animations, the thumbnail, like editing the not the scripts, editing the voiceovers with the videos, putting it all together. Like
music.
Yeah, the music as well. Tats does all of that, and she does that herself. Like, you gotta show respect where respect is due. There, those videos happen. Those videos happen because of Tats.
Yeah, I can't take all the credit. I mean, it wouldn't be if it wasn't for you guys helping out too.
Oh, it's certainly been interesting. I mean, I've said this on the behind the scenes before with the other team members. It's certainly been an enlightening experience joining the team and seeing how the process runs.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've enjoyed the shit out of it.
At least we got a way of more of a structure now. We didn't really have one before.
Yeah, I remember. I think you probably heard about it in the video I did with Dakota.
Yeah.
Where that was mentioned. But yeah. Well, I mean, when you're dealing with a team, I mean, we have as far as like script writers, voice actors, and gameplay recorders go, we've got a fairly big team.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So, like, keeping all that together, like that's an achievement in itself. I kind of feel sorry for kicking Poison in the face there.
Oh well. Should just respawn again.
Yeah, Hagar. You're beating up women and transgender people. That's not going to go down well for your voting. Oh, there he goes again. It's He's gonna go out on his own terms, and by that,
Yeah.
blow himself up.
Just like one of those gay aura from Majora's Mask, they do the same thing.
Ah, yes, are they the Garrow Masters?
Yeah, the ninja ones.
Yeah.
In Ikana Canyon.
That place is unbelievably unnerving.
Really? It's my favourite place. I
Don't
love
get
that
me wrong,
place.
I do like the place. Like, it's really well done, but it's just so unnerving. Like the choice of music, the scene. One thing that really creeped me out, and this is going to be a really weird thing. You know, before you actually get into Icana Valley, and you see those things that come out the ground that are just heads that roll into you.
Oh yeah, the Enos.
Yeah, those things creep me the fuck out.
Yeah, they kind of look like Gorons, but they're not Gorons.
That's the thing. I used to think that they were just like zombie Gorons or something.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's just the fact that they just appear out of the ground with that blank expression and they just roll into you.
When they go, on. Then they explode and you're like, yep, okay, never gonna go near them again. And then you never see them again, which is good.
And that's the thing, you only ever see them in that one specific area leading up to Icana Valley.
Yeah, and you never see them again.
Once you get the ability to teleport to the canyon itself, you never see
you
them
can
again.
bypass all of that.
And I know one thing, and I need to find this out at some point, that really annoyed me. The Bomber's Notebook in that lists all the characters. I was always missing one entry.
Oh really? You don't really get anything from finding them all.
No, but it just annoyed me. I mean, I did get the... Sorry?
That was the noise it would make. Boom, bida bida bim. Notebook.
Ah, yeah, when you get an entry in the Bomber's Notebook.
Yeah.
There was... I've got to try and remember how this happened now, because when you play... Oh, I remember now. You know the scene where you have to save Romina Ranch's milk shipment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second day.
Yeah. When you finish that, you get was it like Romani mask or something?
You do, yeah.
Yeah. And if you've already got it, you get the Romani milk.
And if you do it again, you get a hug from Premier.
No. Well, you do, but only if your bottles are full.
Oh, okay.
Because I discovered that by accident one time, and I couldn't replicate it for love nor money. And then when I eventually looked it up, several years later, I found out that only happens when you have the mask and you have no bottle space.
Okay.
And
I did not know that.
And I think the game literally says to you something along the lines of, "This is a warm feeling."
Yeah.
And now that I say that, right, I'm just sort of thinking of that, like, oh, that suddenly sounds a bit sinister.
Premier is literally just Marlon grown up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't it like Majora's Mask came out something like... Well, the development time wasn't that long.
Yeah, but you needed the expansion pack to play the game.
Yes. But they did reuse pretty much all the assets.
They did.
So I think the whole idea they went behind it is that Termina was like a parallel Hyrule kind of thing.
Yeah.
Although there's been a lot of people trying to work out the lore behind it of you fall down through a tree and land in a new world that has a sky and a moon in it.
Or Link just had a hallucination when he fell off the horse.
Well, there's the whole 5 stages of grief thing, theory that goes with Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Do you know that one?
Not that I'm aware of, actually.
The idea is that the main locations in the game represent the 5 stages of grief, like denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
I didn't think about it like that.
Like, because the idea is like the place you start in the town, Clock Town, that's classed as denial because the people there are denying the fact that the moon is going to crash.
Huh.
And the swamp area is categorised as anger because the king of the Deku shrubs is just angry, and he wants to take it out on a monkey.
So I'm guessing Snowhead is sorrow.
Snowhead is bargaining, and the element there is that when you meet, I think it's Damani.
It's Damani.
Yeah, the guy whose mask, that ghost that becomes the mask.
Yes,
when you first
Damani.
meet him, he tries to bargain for his life, so that you can bring him back to life. And there is an element of like depression in there as well, but the main depression one that comes out is the Great Bay, because the main emphasis there is Lulu has had her eggs stolen, and she's just standing out on the pier, just looking out to sea, saying nothing.
Lost her voice, yeah.
Yeah.
That I can understand.
And then the Icona Valley is acceptance, because the idea is that you ascend the stone tower, and you ascend the stone tower, and the item that you get in the stone tower is the light arrows. And they've also worked.
Well, they also would have the father too, who was path possessed, and those wanted him to be accepted to join them.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the whole element of like closure in that, because obviously the father is saved from being a Gibdo. What was it? The Stalfos like captain or whatever he was called, he gets put to rest. The ghost
king.
of was it Flat or Sharp? Both of them, really.
Yep, the Ghost Brothers there.
Yeah, they get put to rest as well. The king of
Icana.
yeah, he gets defeated as well.
And the servants.
Yeah, and the servants as well. And there's just a lot of symbolism in there, but there's also one element as well which actually resonates with me quite a lot as someone who's suffered with depression, is that the whole time looping mechanic is how depression can feel. Just like reliving the same days over and over again. But the idea they work to is that Link died, and the entirety of Majora's Mask is him going through the 5 stages of grief for accepting his death. Which is actually quite
interesting theory.
It's quite curious, because if you look at the Hyrule Historia, apparently they say that Majora's Mask, or the what was it? The guy who trains you in Twilight Princess, the Stalfos, he's actually a past hero of time.
Okay.
And I think the idea is that there's this whole thing in Ocarina of Time, is that those who die in the Lost Woods become Stalfos, and the idea is that the hero of time, i.e. Ocarina of Time Link, died, became a Stalfos, and then passed on his techniques to the hero in Twilight Princess. It gets very confusing when you get into the Hyrule Historia, because they had to try and work out how to put all these stories together.
Yeah, there's so many different links.
And the less said about the CDI links, the better.
Oh god, yeah.
Maybe I should fire up that emulator that I got to work at some point, just to show off how bad it was in one of these videos. It literally took me 3 hours to get one of those emulators to work.
Jeez.
And when I got it to work, I fired it up. The controls barely worked, and I sort of looked at it and thought, I spent 3 hours getting this to work. I've wasted my life.
No, but you tried. That's the main thing.
Oh, it worked. Like the whole purpose of it was to get it to work for a friend of mine who wanted to play it. And I could get Faces of Evil and Wand of Gamelon to work, but I couldn't get Zelda's Adventure to work.
What about Hotel Mario?
I didn't have Hotel Mario.
Oh, okay.
And that, to be fair, the CDI didn't really have good games.
No, it didn't.
I've seen some of the games that came out for it, and they really are just absolute garbage. But I do find the funny thing that technically the CDI Zelda games are... I mean, they were licensed by Nintendo.
Yeah, they were.
So...
I don't know why they would have done, but they were.
But by that standard, technically, they're canonical.
Yeah.
Like, despite the fact that everyone keeps saying, like, no, there's no way that's canon, it's like, well, it kind of is, because it was sanctioned and licensed by Nintendo. Oh god, trying to put that into the Hyrule timeline would be difficult.
Look it up. This game doesn't exist. That's what Nintendo say.
I think that's what the Metroid community wants to say about Other M.
Yeah.
This is what happens when we gave Samus a personality. Her babies. My god, do I love babies. Man, I have daddy issues. Well, if I remember, wasn't there a whole scene in Other M where you have to go through like a lava section, and then when you get through it, you then actually turn on your Verasuit ability? It's like, well, you had that. Why didn't you turn it on?
Never played Other M.
I know Clown Prince Crime has. I've actually got it somewhere. But I played it before I knew it was garbage.
You owned it?
I still own it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. I've played through some of it, and I got bored of it. Which doesn't surprise me, really. That was a garbage game. Thankfully, they returned to form when they did Samus Returns, the remake.
Yeah.
Which, it was quite funny, really, because that was one of the few Metroid games I hadn't played, but it was a Game Boy. It was like a Game Boy Classic game.
Yeah.
Which is actually an interesting scenario, because the entire game is about genocide, basically.
Huh.
Well, because
I didn't know what it's about.
the whole premise was to go back to whatever that planet was called and kill off all the Metroids. Like, even to the point where it gives you a counter showing how many Metroids are still alive.
Jeez.
Like, it is literally like Metroid Genocide, the game. Yeah, no one ever pulls that up. All these animal rights people want to talk about is how the Tanuki suit is wrong.
Yeah.
Sure. Did you ever hear about the game that they made on that? Like the parody game?
Yeah, I think Retsu created a video on it. I remember seeing it. It was so bad.
Yeah, where you play as the skinned Tanuki chasing after Mario.
Trying to chase after Mario, who's wearing the skin.
Like, thinking of that theme, there was a game I played called Clubby the Seal, where it is literally as it sounds. You play a seal and you club seal clubbers.
That's ridiculous.
Yes. It's a weird game, but then again, we're talking about it's the sort of stuff you would have found on Newgrounds back in the day, like old Flash games. the sort of stuff you play in school when you don't want to do anything. I wonder if the viewers at home heard that.
What?
I heard a car drive by.
That was a motorbike, and that's a police siren.
Oh,
so
okay.
I live in a rough neighbourhood.
There you go. That's something that someone could put on the wiki page.
Yes.
Which, if I remember, I think the wiki page is in the process of being updated.
It certainly is.
I think that reminds me actually. Although this is going to get very dated by this point, but have you heard that I spoke with Crime about being a scriptwriter?
Yeah, I did. I heard about that.
Ah, okay. Your thoughts?
I hope you can get it. We're in dire need of some scriptwriters right now.
Well, that was one of the reasons why I got interested in it. But I also, because I mean, it was Dakota that brought it up to me, and I sort of thought about it and thought, hey, I'll give it a go. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I can still record stuff.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you just shot one that's like, you failed to be a scriptwriter, you're fired.
No, they didn't be like that.
Nah. For those of you curious, like what you're seeing here of Tats is exactly what we see every day. Just a very open, very friendly person. Like if you go into the Discord, the public Discord server, you can actually speak with Tats there. She's very open to speaking with people.
Yeah, I'm still kind of socially awkward because sometimes I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm worried about my voice a lot too because it kind of throws people off.
I mean, I will admit, like when I first heard your voice in one of the videos, it caught me out of left field, you can say, but it didn't like surprise me because at the end of the day, like to me, everybody's different.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a story that I keep like bringing up with various people when they ask me like how I ended up joining the team, and it's just the story of when we first really spoke was when you showed me the Crew 2.
Oh yeah, that game.
Yes, I hear from Azul that you both play that fairly frequently.
Yeah, but we haven't played it in a while because of Ubisoft servers.
Oh,
it's not very good.
Their servers messing up.
Yeah, it's really complicated. Like sometimes you'll join each other's game, but then like you won't. They'll be invisible, and you can't interact with each other.
Really
and like the AI is really rubber band because I have such a better car and he doesn't. So when we're in the same race together, racing against the AI, I would be like at the leader of the pack, and then like they won't give Azul a chance to like overtake, and then you see him just like rubber band everywhere, like not giving him a chance to overtake.
So the Crew 2 has rubber banding.
Oh yeah, it had rubber banding from the start, like way back from when the beta came out.
Jesus.
There was rubber banding.
For those of you who don't know what rubber banding is, it's something that happens in racing games where if you're like the front runner, the computer will adjust the speed of the people behind you so that they can catch up, regardless of whether they should be able to or not. Hence the term rubber banding. They just spring back up to you. It used to happen in Mario Kart.
Yeah, Need for Speed does it too a lot. Mario Kart does it excessively at anything higher than 150cc.
Yeah. It used to annoy the crap out of me because there'd always be that horrible moment of when you've passed someone and you're right near the end of the track and then the rubber banding kicks in and they just sneak ahead of you.
Yeah, or like you never seem to catch them up, but they always seem to be behind you.
I always used to wonder when I was younger why that happened. It's only mostly when I started working with this team and learning a lot more of the mechanics that went on. And yeah, just Like the idea that I kind of understand why they did that to sort of keep the game competitive, but I don't like it when the game is cheating against you.
Well, you just don't have rubber banding at all, and just have it based on player skill.
Yeah, right. I prefer stats and skill being the main reason for doing better or worse. Like, I don't like random stuff.
Because Burnout 2 and Burnout 3 didn't have that at all.
Well, wasn't paying attention to that.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember playing some of the. I think I played the original Burnout, and from what I remember, that never really had that issue.
No, I don't think the original one had it.
Which kind of highlighted that games didn't really need that. It just felt like a cop-out kind of thing. Rather than doing any kind of balancing, let's do a cop-out. It's I suppose one of the cop-outs I used to find that annoyed me as well was in the Mega Man games, where the bosses had damage boosting. Like, they had so many invincibility frames on them. It just got insane. Like, if you're trying to do like a Mega Buster run against a boss, you're just there for ages trying to work out when the invincibility frames are going to wear off. Although I can't really complain too much because your own character has invincibility frames through the wazoo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still pretty proud that I managed to defeat Yellow Devil using only the Mega Buster.
You recorded that too for hard bosses.
Yes, I think that was the first official video that I sent in. Yeah, it was. But it wasn't the first. It wasn't the first series I was attached to, because the first one I was attached to was scary levels in games.
Oh yeah.
Because I did Penumbra Overture. If I remember, wasn't the original video scrapped because it wasn't good quality?
I can't remember.
So I just remember that Clown Prince of Crime had the script, and the slot opened up, and I basically went, "Oh hey, I've got that game. I'll give it a go."
Don't remember.
It's been quite a while ago now. I mean, this was back when I first joined, so we're talking before Christmas. And let's face it, I can barely remember what I did last week, let alone last year. That reminds me, actually. Have you seen the new EDF that's shown up on Steam?
Yeah, the After Defense Force 5. I know a lot of people. My friend in Britain played it. He had it on PlayStation. He was telling me about it, and I know another team member of mine's got the game and said it's a lot better than 4.1. So I think I might, in the future, try out.
Yeah, I keep looking at it at the moment. Despite the fact that I have an enormous spider issue, like, I am quite tempted by it. Although, to be fair, the only reason I ended up getting into EDF is because you encouraged me. I got EDF 4.1 after you spoke about it. I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. And I went to it, saw the spiders, like, what have I done?
And did you beat the game?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
There
you go.
I beat it on the normal difficulty. I took out. It's not the mothership. What is? It's the brain, isn't it?
Brain. Yeah.
The thing that basically just covers the entire sky.
Well, that's the Earth Eater.
Yes.
The brain is like the big square thing.
Yeah. Although I do find it interesting that I think the whole purpose of that level is you're supposed to gather up the other squads. I just ended up doing it on my own.
Yeah.
There's literally just me as a wing diver avoiding this discotheque of lasers.
Yeah, we had it on hardest bosses.
Yes, we did. I can't remember where that was on hardest bosses though.
I think it was quite high up. But I wasn't even playing it on Inferno, I was only playing it on, like, hard.
I mean, it is a difficult fight, especially if you're not familiar with it. There's something funny about just someone in a wheelchair there, and I've just grabbed him by the throat and then pile drivered him into the ground. Your tax dollars at work, people. This is how we deal with the disabled people. We choke slam them. It's good times. Although I will say that what EDF has some rather interesting, what's the term, difficulty curves.
It does, yeah.
Like when I started playing through it initially, the first level is significantly harder than the successive 5.
I think the first level was pretty difficult. You're playing it on the harder difficulties, 4.1. I find that the first level is a lot more difficult than the second level. In order for me to grind in the on hardest Inferno, I found it easier to do the second level more than the first level.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. When I was grinding up on the harder difficulty settings to get the better equipment, I would always start on the second level, because the second level is really easy.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, the first level, the only bit that's that difficult is the last bit.
Yeah, when they come out the field.
Yeah, and there's just a massive swarm of them. And it's like, yeah, you've got support, you've got tanks, other soldiers, but there's just so many of them. Oh, and here's me playing as Guy. He's a guy.
Just Guy.
Yeah, so that seems to be his attack animation, where he just sort of flicks his wrist about.
Interesting.
I'm going to attack you by holding my arm out and flick my wrist in your face. I think when I was playing this, I think I first played through it as Cody, because I can't remember what order I'd recorded these in, but I think I played it through. No, I think I played it through as Hagar first, then Cody, then Guy. Even though they've shown up in this as Cody, Hagar, and Guy.
Yeah, the different orders.
At the end of the day, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll title this a Trinity of Error.
Yeah, up to you.
I don't know what I'm going to title this. I think as soon as I put your name in the title, it's going to get people viewing it.
Maybe.
So I think one of the main interests from when I was originally watching your channel is people were curious about you, and
why?
I think it's just more in the sense of, like, because it's a channel that's based on, like, I need to say the top 10, but it's just like a top X of something, and there's lots of different voices that go into it. So I think, I mean, I might be speaking just more for myself than anything, but there's a certain air of mystery behind the team members.
I suppose so.
I mean, that's always been the way that I've sort of seen it from the commenters' perspective. And again, when I was watching, I mean, what I used to do is I used to put the long videos on when I was playing games, and sometimes I even used to fall asleep to them.
Do it that boring, huh? No, I'm kidding.
I just love. The voices were so soothing.
In the Among Us, yeah.
I remember I used to put the series that went on about the creepypastas, like the gaming, non-gaming, ritual, and all that.
That made you fall asleep and stuff? I know the weather one made people, and the weather and the natural phenomenon one, people really like that one.
It's not
Makes them fall asleep.
It's not so much that I fell asleep with it because of the content. I just liked having a long video on that I enjoyed, because then I could just listen to it as I laid in bed and had a nap. I still do that today.
Wait, how do you just listen to it on speakers or like on headphones?
I put it on my PC and put it on speakers.
Oh, okay.
Because literally my PC is about.
For me, I cannot do that. I can never seem to sleep with noise. I have to put earplugs in.
It's quite the opposite with me. As long as it's, I suppose you could say, as long as it's gentle noise. Like when I used to work, we had our server room just had the constant sound of a fan going. I could fall asleep in that. There's just there's something about. I think it's because I can focus my mind on it, and then my brain just turns off.
I can understand that.
It's quite interesting to think that back then when I was watching those videos, that a couple of years down the line I would actually be working for the team.
Yeah, a lot of people have said the same thing. Like, they don't believe it's like a dream to work for us.
Well, I mean, personally, it's not so much been a dream come true, but it's been one hell of a benefit. Like, I mean, for those people who have been following my activities before, like, I've been going through a lot of personal issues. I've been going through therapy as well, to do with like problems with working. But when I signed up and joined this team, it's been really a powerful tool for that recovery, as well as learning so much about the recording process.
Yeah.
Like, it's not too much for me to say that joining the team has literally changed my life. For the better, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad things are getting better for you, or have changed, and for the positive.
It certainly has gotten a lot better over the last few months. I also found as well, like, I mean, this is another thing for people who are interested in the team itself. Like, the conversations I've had with the team, the various voice chats that we've had with members, like, that's been so therapeutic and so fun. Like, especially when we end up having group chats on the team server with various team members.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the topics that come out in that are just priceless. especially when you did your Conquer impression.
Oh yeah, you like that, huh?
Although I think we both know what got me the most, and it was that Doom video.
Yes, I still have to send that to you some point.
If that kills me, just having all the sound effects changed, especially considering some of them are just DSP.
Yep.
Wasn't it the chainsaw that was changed?
You like the chainsaw?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you did all the changes to that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just another. Oh dear. Glitched out there.
No weapon there.
Capcom glitching, people. Your tax dollars at work.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's something to bear in mind as well, people, is that Tats does a lot of animating, but does a lot of audio mixing as well. Like, so many of the things that you've shown me before and I've listened to before, it really does highlight just the sheer amount of talent that you've got for audio mixing.
Well, thank you. I did a course in music technology, but I wouldn't say I was amazing at it. I tried my best, but yeah, it's kind of difficult to do. But because you need to find the line between too loud, too quiet, and too bassy, and something that you'll never seem to get right when YouTube videos. Whenever you seem to click on a YouTube video, it's always like, especially when it's trying to have like someone talk, it's usually goddamn quiet, and then like they get to the next section, it's incredibly loud, and it's got nothing to it. Yeah, or they have just different excerpts of someone's clip, and it's like parts all over the place, and that really bothers me. I'm like, just take 5 minutes out of your day to just check the audio levels. If it's too quiet, maybe boost it up a bit. If that bit's too loud, maybe turn it down a little bit. I do that with all my videos, even ones that I download. I make sure that the audio is the same consistently all the way through, and nothing's too loud or too quiet.
Well, I mean, I tend to check my videos to a certain degree just to make sure that there's no oddities that show up in it. I mean, I came across one when I did one. I think it was the second behind the scenes that I did, where I had 2 games, which was Terraria and Star Fox. What I didn't realise is that when it moved onto the Star Fox video, it didn't record the video. It just recorded the audio.
That must have been a pain.
So for about half an hour of the video was just a single frame from Terraria.
God damn it.
I mean, thankfully, because of the way it was timed, all I had to do was take the audio out and then just insert the Star Fox video in afterwards, and it worked fine after that.
Oh, that's okay then. Not too bad then.
I think the most frustrating glitch I've had, I can't remember what the video was that I was doing for, but it was back when I was separating the audio in Audacity, and when I tried to save the Audacity file, it crashed, and it split the audio file into 128 segments.
Oh, Jesus.
But it also changed the speed of the audio by 1.5, so it was 1.5 times faster.
Right. Sounds a nightmare.
Yeah, I had to spend about 2 hours stitching the files back together and then trying to work out the right audio speed to get it back to normal. The audio that I got out of it did actually eventually get uploaded, so it did work in the end. I just can't remember what it was for. It might have been for one of my Punch-Out videos when I did.
Oh my god!
It still sounds like a woman that says that.
Sorry?
Sounds like a woman that says that.
I know it's supposed to say, oh my god, but just the way it sounds like, oh my god. Again, this was back when they were first trying out putting audio into games. Or voice audio.
They sound like they're reading off a teleprompter.
Well, I mean, there's still some of that goes on today. I mean, look at the likes of... That reminds me, Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. I actually found out that when they did the lines for that, all they did for the voice actors, they just gave them the lines and didn't give them any motivation or context as to what lines they were doing.
Oh god.
That's why some of the dialogue in that just seems so random.
Yeah.
Like there's literally a bit where Sonic is seeing Tails' plane crash, and he goes, watch out, you're gonna crash. Ah!
Yeah, that's the one I showed you. And it's like he opens his mouth and his tongue comes out.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh,
Chaos.
Yes. Back when Sonic's mouth contorted really weirdly.
Yeah. I think it was on my list of worst voice acting in games.
That was really terrible voice acting. I mean, even the game itself wasn't that fun. I like to think of it as like the pilot for Sonic Adventure 2, which was actually half decent.
Yeah.
Good times. That reminds me, if you remember, what was the first console that you got into?
NES.
That was same as me then.
Yeah,
the NES days.
1985. Or 1986, I think. Came out in 1985, I think it did.
That was when the NES came out?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. That was 2 years before my birthday.
Huh.
Well, that's 2 years before I was born, anyway. But the same year my brother was born, so
Ah.
that's curious. Well, I did find out that I think I can't remember if this is accurate, but I think Sonic was created the same year as my birth as well.
Oh, okay.
It's 87.
That's pretty cool.
That just really. I mean, someone in the comments is probably gonna. It will probably be Azul that comes in the comments and says, "No, you're wrong," because he likes to point out my mistakes in these videos.
Like to watch our stuff as well.
Well, he is the team's advisor and I suppose effectively lead researcher.
True.
Well, I did find it funny when we all had that conversation about the team roles and just found that the team advisor role on the list was just like the second from the bottom of the pile.
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think it was changed now.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was just amusing at the time, just hearing how everyone was like rating how our roles were. Oh god, that was a lot of fun. So, having seen Final Fight, what do you make of it?
A very frustrating game, but no doubt probably could be fun if you had more people playing.
Well, this version and I think the Mega Drive / Genesis version was 2-player. The SNES version was 1-player.
Okay.
It was another example of SNES version being worse than the Genesis version.
Yeah.
Which was curious, really, because I'm pretty sure the SNES was more powerful. I can't remember, to be honest. I know it certainly had different technology in it. Also just noticing in this scene here, just the sheer level of animation they've got going on in that background art.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
I love how like the game can't determine what time of day it is. It's just randomly changes now and then.
I've just noticed those characters in the background that are animated, they're clones.
Yeah, they are. Wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, like the
Same trousers.
The two guys on the outsides are exactly the same. The two guys,
white top.
Yeah, the white top, the check, well, the striped top. I've never noticed that. My god, they were lazy. I should think that every time I get tied up like that, they must get pretty annoyed at the fact that someone keeps dropping a knife on it.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose to be fair, like, that in itself is a bit of a... For the time, it's a bit of a disturbing, like, game over sequence, because you're just watching your character watching watching Dynamite, like, time down.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty unsettling.
When it times out completely, the screen just sort of washes
Goes
out
white.
to white.
Yeah.
So you don't actually see it blow up, but it's just the interpretation that's in there. Although, I mean, thinking of Majora's Mask again, it doesn't compare to the game over in that.
True. But that was, people said we should have put that on Scary Game Overs. I'm like, no, that's more cool. It's a cool game over. Like, people would like just deliberately want to watch the end of the world happen.
I think the thing is that it wasn't scary in the sense that it was more just unnerving. Like, it's just the implication behind it. I mean, it was really cool, like, way they ended the game, showing the moon crashing and Link getting, like, absorbed in, like, a wall of fire.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very cool way to end it. It's also just unnerving in the sense that the whole world is fucked and it's entirely your fault.
Yeah.
Well, I do find it funny as well that you have Ganon, the king of thieves, who can turn into a giant pig monster, but he never destroyed the world.
Yeah.
No, it was a kid with a mask. Like, he doesn't have the power of the gods, he has a mask, but he just summoned the moon and crashed it into Terminal.
Pretty much.
Although, to be fair, I think that moon in itself was horrifying.
Yeah, it was a little bit more scary in the 3D version too.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that was going to be my next point. Is that the 3D upgrade to that moon became so much worse. Although I have often said that I want a mod where someone changes that moon's face with DSPs.
Oh god. I have seen a mod where you change the moon to the awesome face emote. And I do have a video of that.
I mean, there's just something strangely sinister about that mental image. Well, I kind of remind. This might have actually been on a. No, was it on a Tats video? It might have. It might be on a different video. Just a glitch on. I think it was like a sandbox game where you just look up in the sky and the skybox is just a person's face.
I think it's like a skate Easter egg. Oh, it's not really a glitch. It was not scary game overs, not scary Easter eggs.
Was it?
Yeah, it's Call of Duty Black Ops, or some sort of Call of Duty game. And you look up at a certain place and you see this like face appear in the clouds for a split second.
Oh no! No, I remember now. It was that wasn't the thing I was thinking of. I think it was Mountain Blade. There was a glitch in the game where if you looked up in the sky, the entire skybox was just a person's face. Like, I think there was a glitch in the graphics. I mean, when I saw the footage of it, it was horrifying. Like, there wasn't sky, there was just a face.
Sounds like the scary glitch with Left 4 Dead, where you had a face, like it was like the face on the back of a truck.
Yeah, so I remember that. It's a shame the quality, like, of that footage was a bit weak on that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it was probably patched out pretty quickly, but
yeah.
Like I've seen that one quite a few times. That was one of the videos I liked putting on, and yeah, wasn't it a jockey face?
It was, yeah.
Well, I've got to ask, when it came to Easter eggs, and I think it was either Counter-Strike or a Half-Life map, where they had a picture of a face that had eyes, eggs for eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who came up with the joke for that?
I don't know. Probably someone clever at Valve.
Because like the joke with that is that hence the term Easter egg. Huh? See what we did there?
Then I animated that bit with NDL.
That always used to catch me. But no, these days there's been a whole bunch of new people these days, myself included.
Quite a lot of new people.
Well, it's helpful to get some new blood in every now and then.
That's true.
It's certainly been getting. I mean, for those of you who wonder, like if you've been on the public Discord, or if you've been thinking like, hey, I've got a list idea, you have not seen the number of lists that we've got.
We have so many planned.
We have such
hundreds
sights to show you.
Yeah, there's hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, that we will not run out of lists anytime soon. So
nope.
At least I know. I know I'll be guaranteed of employment. Oh god, that's been such fun. Should we wrap this up? We've gone for nearly 2 hours now.
Oh sure.
I just looked at the clock there. I was like, oh, we've gone for 2 hours at this point, and we're on the third playthrough of this. I mean, I'll keep
Playing as Goku, aren't we, from Dragon Ball Z? No, I'm only kidding.
You know, I've never noticed that. He really does look like Goku. They should have done a mod of that where that's his special move, which does the
Turn Super Saiyan.
Dear. So, anyways, this is behind the scenes. I've been joined by the great and wonderful Tats from Tats Top Videos. What have you made of this this little 2-hour session?
That it was pretty fun getting to talk to someone again, I guess. I haven't talked to anyone for quite a while, actually, and getting to know a lot about backstory of certain things which I had no idea of. So that was always good.
There's lots of little nuggets that I come across so I spend a lot of time watching random stuff on YouTube and then just looking up little bits, and it's just amazing the little tidbits that you come across when you start looking into this stuff.
Like the 5 Empire State Buildings in the back there.
Although, wasn't that a thing in Deus Ex where they didn't take out the Twin Towers, they just weren't in there.
They were there, but they weren't programmed. Like, it was in the original game, it was the skybox actually hid it, and then the developer said, like, no, they made up something like the terrorists actually destroyed it, and that was like years before it even happened. So that was literally just like a coding glitch that they just ran with. Yeah, and then they just said, oh well, just terrorists blew up the trade center, that's what we go with, and that's what happened years later.
Well, was it? Because I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went on where a lot of games and movies just basically whitewashed the Twin Towers out of everything. It's basically saying this never happened. Which
still in the darkness too, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's amazing to see a game after that actually did keep it in.
Yeah, they kept it in.
There's a lot of games I need to sit down with. One of them is You May Nikki.
Yes, a great game. It's free. You can get it on Steam for free.
I know, I've got it.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't sat down to it. There's a lot of games on Steam I need to sit down and play. I mean, Dream Diary you have to pay for, I believe.
Yeah, I have the game thanks to he sent it to me, but I haven't played it yet though.
Because Dream Diary kind of looks more like, it looks similar to like something like Limbo.
It does, yeah.
And probably makes about as much sense. But, oh yeah, I forgot. I was supposed to be ending the episode. I lost track of that. But yes, here's the next question. Would you come back onto one of these?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
This is pleasing to me.
Yeah, I would say yes, I would love to.
I mean, one of the ideas I've got in the pipeline that Clown Prince put forward to me is like more of a podcasty idea with multiple people. Like that.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking that.
I'm kind of thinking as well that like a lot of the TTV stuff takes a long time to produce, and that's understandable stuff. I'm sort of idly thinking like, what little things are there that can be put out to like keep people abated? Like, it's kind of one of the things I was thinking about with these behind the scenes. It's just this is showing that work is still going on because this recorded footage is the work.
Yeah.
But who knows? We'll see what comes later and see what I can put together. But yes, this is behind the scenes with Final Fights the Third play. I'm Black and Rose, a chimpanzee in a suit who sang "I Am the Great Mighty Pooh" at the start of this, and I'm joined by the great Tats from Tats Top Videos.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to say to the viewers before we end this?
I'll say, like, no matter how difficult life is, no matter how much you just want to keep giving up, don't. Keep persevering, and that reward will be just round the corner. So,
Some very wise words there, especially considering the video going on is me getting the shit beaten out of me.
just keep persevering. Just don't give up.
And you'll get there.
Yep.
And that's something I can take for myself, because I've been in therapy for nearly 2 years now, and persevere, and you will get to the end. And if you do join the public server, don't hesitate to speak to people there. Don't hesitate to speak to Tats. If you send a message, I'm sure she'll respond. Just remember, we're all humans. We're all people. We're not gods. We're not monsters.
Nope.
Well, I mean, unless I've not slept for a few days, then I might be a monster. Okay, right. Take care, folks, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.